There are moments in life when everything seems uncertain. You feel lost, confused, and unsure of what to do next. The path ahead looks blurry, and even your heart doesn't seem to know which direction to take. Yet, in those silent moments of confusion, something divine begins to stir around you. You might notice an unusual coincidence, a sudden thought that brings peace, or an encounter that feels too meaningful to be random. These are not mere accidents. They are signs from God, gentle whispers from the universe, guiding you toward your purpose and protection. But sadly, most of us are too busy or distracted to notice them. We are caught up in noise, rushing through life, ignoring the divine voice that is always trying to reach us. When God sends you a sign, He does not shout. He speaks softly through life's moments, through symbols, people, and emotions, asking you to pause, reflect, and trust. Every person receives signs in their own unique way. For some, it comes through dreams, a message so clear that it shakes the soul. For others, it's a repeated number, a song playing at the right moment, or even a random stranger saying something that feels meant just for you. These moments carry divine energy. God speaks not only through miracles, but through the ordinary flow of life. The problem is that we often look for big, dramatic proof, a thunder, a flash of light, a voice from the sky. But the truth is, God works in silence. His signs are simple yet powerful. When your heart suddenly feels peace about a difficult decision, that's His sign. When everything around you seems to push you in a direction, that's His way of saying, "This is your path." And when you lose something or someone unexpectedly, it may be His protection, not punishment. Ignoring these signs can make your path more painful. God doesn't punish those who miss His message, but He allows life to teach the same lesson again until you understand it. He loves you too much to let you wander endlessly. Sometimes the same pattern keeps repeating in your life, the same kind of people, the same problems, the same disappointments. That's not coincidence. It's a divine repetition. It's God saying, "You haven't learned this yet." Once you understand the message, the cycle breaks. Every delay, every rejection, every heartbreak carries a hidden message from the divine. When you start paying attention, you begin to see how beautifully everything is connected. There's a divine rhythm in everything that happens. When something is meant for you, no power can stop it. And when something isn't meant for you, no force can make it happen. Signs from God remind you that your life is being guided by a power far greater than your own understanding. You are not walking this journey alone. Even when everything seems to be falling apart, the divine plan is working perfectly behind the scenes. That closed door you cried for was protecting you from pain. That failure you couldn't accept was pushing you toward growth. That delay that frustrated you was aligning you with the right timing. God's signs often come disguised as disappointments. But if you have faith, you will see that every no from the universe is preparing you for a bigger yes. Faith is the key to understanding divine signs. Without faith, you'll call them coincidences. With faith, you'll call them miracles. The more you trust, the clearer they become. Sometimes a prayer isn't answered right away because God is preparing your heart to receive it. He might show you small signs to strengthen your belief. A word, a symbol, a gentle reminder that He is still with you. If you feel peace in your spirit, even when your situation is stormy, that's a divine sign. Peace is one of the clearest ways God communicates. It means you're in alignment with His will. Confusion, fear, and restlessness often come when you're resisting His plan. That's why you must quiet your mind, listen to your intuition, and trust what your soul is feeling. God's signs are not seen with eyes but felt with the heart. Sometimes God sends people as signs. A person might come into your life and help you heal, inspire you, or show you something about yourself that you never noticed. Some stay, some leave, but every one of them carries a divine purpose. The one who breaks your heart may be teaching you strength. The one who encourages you may be showing you your worth. The one who betrays you may be helping you learn boundaries. God uses people as mirrors to help you grow into who you are meant to be. If you ignore these lessons, you repeat the same pain. But if you see God's hand in every person you meet, you begin to live with gratitude, not resentment. Nature, too, is full of divine signs. The sunrise reminding you of new beginnings, the rain washing away old energy, the wind whispering that change is coming, all are ways the Creator speaks. Even your body sends signals when your soul is uneasy. Anxiety, tiredness, restlessness. Sometimes it's not a medical issue but a spiritual one. It's your soul telling you that you're going in the wrong direction or that something needs healing. Pay attention to these inner signs. The heart knows long before the mind understands. The gut feeling, the sudden intuition, that's God guiding you quietly. Never doubt it. Many times, people pray for a sign, but when it comes, they ignore it because it doesn't look like what they expected. God's guidance doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it comes through discomfort, pain, or endings. But behind every ending, there's a new beginning waiting. When God removes something from your life, it's not rejection, it's redirection. He is taking away what's not aligned with your destiny to make space for something better. The hardest part is surrendering, letting go of control, and trusting that even in the chaos, everything is unfolding for your highest good. That's where faith is tested. Think about all the times in your life when things didn't go according to plan, but later turned out to be blessings in disguise. That friend you lost, that job you didn't get, that relationship that didn't work, all of them were part of the divine orchestration. Looking back, you realize God was protecting you all along. The pain that broke you became the path that shaped you. The delay that frustrated you turned into divine timing. Every unanswered prayer was actually a better plan being written. God's signs are everywhere, in your past, your present, and your future, if only you choose to see with faith. Listening to divine signs requires stillness. In today's world full of noise, we rarely sit in silence. But silence is sacred. It's where your soul meets the divine. When you meditate, pray, or simply sit in peace, you create space for God's voice to be heard. The more you quiet your surroundings, the louder His message becomes. Sometimes, you don't need to do anything but listen. Answers come not when you overthink, but when you surrender. The heart speaks in silence. God whispers in stillness. If you ever feel like God is silent, remember, the teacher is always quiet during the test. Silence doesn't mean absence. It means presence in another form. During such times, trust the signs He's already given you. Keep walking in faith, even if you can't see the full picture. The light will appear step by step. Every act of faith is like lighting a candle in the dark. Keep moving, keep believing. God never leaves His children without guidance. When you begin to follow the signs, your life starts to align in unexpected ways. The right people appear at the right time. Doors open without effort. You start feeling peace even when life is uncertain. That's how you know you're on the right path. Divine alignment feels effortless. Not because it's easy, but because it flows naturally. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer force, you trust. You no longer beg, you believe. That is the power of recognizing divine signs. God's love is unconditional. He doesn't stop sending signs just because you ignored the previous ones. His patience is endless. He waits for you to notice, to awaken, to trust. Every morning you wake up is a new sign of His grace. Every breath you take is proof of His mercy. Every challenge you face is an invitation to grow spiritually. Life is not random. It's a conversation between you and the Creator. Once you start listening, everything begins to make sense. So, the next time you feel lost or uncertain, don't rush for answers. Sit quietly. Ask for a sign, and then open your heart. It may come through a person, a song, a dream, or even a random quote you read. You'll know it's divine when it touches your spirit in a way nothing else does. God doesn't play hide and seek. He simply waits for your awareness to rise. Trust the feeling, not the form. Signs are personal. What's meant for you will always speak to you in a way only your soul understands. Remember, divine signs are not about predicting the future, but about guiding you toward your truth. When you start following them, you walk in alignment with your purpose. Life becomes less about control and more about surrender. You begin to see that everything, even the pain, was a part of God's plan to awaken your soul. The more you trust, the more peaceful your journey becomes. Faith turns fear into strength and confusion into clarity. That's the beauty of divine guidance. It transforms your chaos into calm. In the end, the greatest sign God can send you is peace. Peace in the middle of storms. Peace when things make no sense. Peace when you should be afraid but aren't. That peace is His voice saying, "I am here, and I am with you." Don't ignore it. When God sends you a sign, it's an invitation to trust Him more deeply. Pay attention, stay open, and believe that everything happening is for your highest good. The universe is not against you. It's working for you, through you, and with you. God's timing is perfect. His ways are mysterious, and His signs are always clear for those who look with faith. There comes a time in every person's life when everything seems dark and uncertain. You question everything, your purpose, your direction, even your faith. You look at the sky and ask, "God, are you really there? Do you hear me?" And while you wait for a loud answer, what you often miss are the quiet, subtle signs that He sends every single day. God rarely speaks through thunder. He whispers through stillness. He doesn't always use miracles. He uses moments, small, sacred, and perfectly timed. When your soul feels drawn towards something, when your heart keeps pulling you in a direction even when logic says otherwise, that's often a divine nudge. The voice of God isn't heard through your ears. It's felt deep in your spirit. But to recognize it, you must be still enough to listen. The biggest mistake people make is expecting divine signs to always feel pleasant or easy. Sometimes, God's sign is a door that slams shut in your face. Sometimes it's a person walking away, a failure, or a sudden change you didn't see coming. And it hurts deeply. But pain itself can be a sacred messenger. Pain awakens what comfort tries to silence. Through discomfort, God realigns your path. The same storm you curse might be the one washing away everything that wasn't meant for you. When you look back after some time, you realize the very thing that broke you was the thing that built your strength. The unanswered prayer became your protection. The delay became divine direction. The truth is, divine signs are not meant to be dramatic. They're meant to be divine reminders. The purpose of a sign isn't to impress you, it's to guide you. Imagine walking through a forest with no path. You keep wandering, unsure of where to go. Suddenly, you see a small light flickering in the distance. That's your sign. It doesn't show you the whole way, but it gives you enough light to take one more step. That's how God works. He doesn't always reveal the destination. He gives you signs to trust the journey. Every step taken in faith leads you closer to your purpose. You might wonder, how do I know if it's really a sign from God or just my imagination? The answer lies in peace. A true sign from God brings calm, not chaos. Even if it challenges you, it carries a sense of spiritual assurance deep within. Confusion comes from the mind. Clarity comes from the soul. If your heart feels at ease, even when your mind is uncertain, that's God's confirmation. Peace is the divine signature on every message He sends. You will never feel forced to follow a true sign. It will draw you naturally, like the sun pulling a flower toward its light. Sometimes, divine signs appear through repetition. When something or someone keeps showing up in your life, a symbol, a name, a message, a verse, or a number, pay attention. The universe repeats what you refuse to hear. God uses repetition not to annoy you, but to awaken you. If the same lesson keeps appearing, it's because your soul is ready to grow through it. Don't brush it off as coincidence. Coincidences are just God's way of staying anonymous. There are also times when the signs seem confusing, when one thing feels right, but circumstances make it difficult. That's when patience becomes your greatest test. God's signs are always clear in hindsight. What doesn't make sense today will reveal its purpose tomorrow. Your job is not to decode everything instantly. It's to trust the timing. Every seed planted in faith grows, but not every seed blooms overnight. Just because you can't see the roots doesn't mean nothing is happening. Signs are like seeds, invisible at first, but powerful in their growth. God also speaks through emptiness. When you lose passion for something you once loved, it might be a divine hint that a new chapter is calling you. When certain relationships begin to fade, it's because your vibration no longer matches theirs. The universe moves people and things around to align your path with your destiny. You are evolving, and with evolution comes divine rearrangement. Instead of forcing old doors to stay open, trust that new ones are being prepared for you. The closing of one season is the beginning of another. Every goodbye from God is actually a thank you in disguise for what's ahead. You see, when you ignore signs, life becomes heavier. It's like walking against the current, tiring and frustrating. But when you start recognizing and following divine signs, everything begins to flow. You meet people who help you evolve, opportunities find you without effort, and situations that once drained you suddenly lose power over you. That's divine alignment. When you stop forcing and start flowing, you realize that the universe was never against you. It was always preparing you. One of the most beautiful signs God sends is through dreams. Sometimes your soul receives messages while your mind rests. Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than reality itself? That's your soul's way of remembering what your mind has forgotten. God uses dreams to reveal what you're ready to face, what you need to heal, and what you must release. Not every dream is random. Some are sacred messages wrapped in mystery. Pay attention to the ones that linger, the ones that feel heavy with emotion or light with peace. Another way God sends signs is through your intuition, that quiet inner knowing that cannot be explained. It doesn't shout, it whispers. The world will tell you to be logical, but God often asks you to be faithful. Faith begins where logic ends. When something inside you says, "This feels right," even when you can't prove it, that's divine intuition. Trust it. It's not just your mind talking. It's your spirit recognizing truth. The more connected you are to your inner self, the more clearly you'll hear divine signs. Meditation, prayer, silence, these open the channels of divine communication. But when your life is filled with noise, endless scrolling, endless stress, you lose that connection. God hasn't stopped sending signs. You've stopped listening. The modern world has made people too busy to notice miracles. Yet miracles happen every single day. A sunrise, a breath, a heartbeat, an answered prayer. The sacred is hidden in the ordinary. The moment you slow down, you start seeing God everywhere. In people, in nature, in coincidences, in your own heartbeat. Sometimes God's sign comes as a call to action, a chance to take a leap of faith. You feel scared because it's unknown, but remember this. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. If your heart feels drawn to something bigger, something that serves love, peace, or purpose, that's not just your thought. That's your divine mission calling. Signs lead you there. Don't let fear stop you from walking the path that was made for you. Every great destiny starts with a single act of faith. And yes, sometimes divine signs lead you through tests. When everything feels like it's falling apart, it's easy to think you're being punished. But that's never the case. God tests not to break you, but to prepare you. Just as gold is purified in fire, your soul is strengthened through challenges. The pain you're facing today may be the very path to your greatest awakening. When you hold on, trust, and continue to believe even when you can't see, you pass the divine test. After every storm, the light feels brighter. The truth is, signs never stop coming. The question is, are you watching? Are you open? Are you still enough to listen? God doesn't send signs only to saints or holy people. He sends them to everyone who is willing to see. You could be walking through your hardest season, and still, He's sending you messages of hope, through a stranger's smile, through a child's laughter, through a song on the radio that speaks exactly what you needed to hear. These are not coincidences. They are love letters from the divine reminding you, I am here. I never left. When you truly understand this, your entire outlook on life changes. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, what is this teaching me? You stop seeing obstacles and start seeing opportunities. You stop chasing signs and start living as one. Your life becomes a message of faith, and others begin to find hope through your story. That is the ultimate purpose of divine signs, not just to guide you, but to make you a light for others. Once you've seen the hand of God in your own life, you become a living reminder of His grace. So the next time your heart feels uncertain, take a deep breath and remember, God is always speaking. The question is not whether He's sending signs, but whether you're ready to receive them. Stay humble, stay open, and trust that everything unfolding is leading you closer to where you're meant to be. When God sends you a sign, don't ignore it. Don't doubt it. Embrace it with gratitude, follow it with faith, and walk forward with courage. Because when you honor divine signs, miracles begin to unfold in ways you could never imagine. And remember this, every single sign, whether it comes through peace, pain, joy, loss, or love, is part of a greater story being written for you. Trust that story. The author knows the ending far better than you do.